Dr. Brenner,
Here.
Dr. Petula, Mr. Kozowitz,
Here.
Dr. Schumacher,
Here.
Mr. Sefner.
Here.
Ms. Shields,
Here.
Dr. Burks.
Here. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And will someone please read the mission statement?
Sure. Cultivating learners who apply skills and experiences to enrich society.
And we have public comments. Alejandro.
My name is Alejandro Ayala. I'm in 7th grade, and I'm part of the first generation of dual language students in the district. And I've been part of the dual language program for 7 years. The program has enhanced my learning and ability to understand and communicate with others. However, over the past years, I've experienced frustration. It started when my class was transferred to Yorkville Intermediate School. The first year when my class was there, we were viewed as outsiders by many, and we're not thoroughly accepted into the YAS community. In addition, that year, our class did not have sufficient resources such as books, online programs, and much support from the YAS administration. Some of my classmates that needed more help in some subjects did not get it, and as a result, those students fell down in subjects they were already behind. The following year at YAS was better for me, at least. However, at the end of the year, all dual language teachers at YAS and the incoming teacher for YMS resigned. This year, my class moved to Yorkville Middle School. Of course, this year has been difficult for all teachers, students, parents, and school administrators. However, this year, students who needed extra help in some subjects still did not get it in the subjects covered by the dual language. In my language arts class, we only had 4 writing assignments the entire year. My dual language teacher was also not provided any books in Spanish until the middle of the year, and the books that she did receive were few and below the 7th grade level. She was also never given any resources to use for language arts, in which case she was forced to have to search for websites and readings on her own. Also, as a student, I was never informed by the school until Friday that there would be a Spanish elective provided for advanced Spanish students, such as those of the dual language. By the time I was told, I was already committed to the electives I had chosen and was left with little time to decide whether to take this elective. Frankly, I expected more from 7th grade in dual language arts. I was looking forward to writing and enhancing my reading skills, but the lack of resources and good instruction has caused this year's dual language class to become increasingly disappointing. My language arts math test score dropped for the first time, and I did not learn as much as I did. As a student, I've become more worried over the past couple of years that my education is being jeopardized by the problems of the dual language. I understand that being the first generation of dual language students requires patience and understanding. However, some issues are too important to be ignored and must be resolved. So I call on you, the school board, to work with the parents, teachers, and students of the program to provide a better dual language for the present and for the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's unfortunate that you were given the opportunity to look at that a lot sooner, though we voted on that 2 months ago. And I do understand that it was late rolling out. So what you're saying is absolutely true. I do also understand that today, Dr. Schmidt did accelerate the activity, so every student will have the opportunity to look at it again. And I understand there's no pressure on anyone to make a decision immediately. So no one will be locked out of making a decision on which elective they want, now that they will know that this elective is available. So the problem was the information obviously didn't filter down to the students quickly enough. But I think this issue is resolved. It's a September class, and everyone will be given sufficient time to consider it without having to rush into a decision. If someone wants to change their decision from what they had made, they certainly will be given that opportunity. I have seen the results of 7th grade dual language students, and I will tell you, it's better than their peers that are not in the dual language program overall. As you said, this has been a tough year. Everyone has suffered to some degree. Things could always be better. There's no doubt about it. We're talking about looking at classes that will bring in Spanish-speaking teachers in other subject matters, science and mathematics, when we can find them. Unfortunately, that's not an easy thing to do. We've talked about trying to get high school credit for 8th grade students. That's not, you would require a teacher that just isn't out there. They have to have certification both in high school and middle school and Spanish. We have a hard time just finding teachers. It's not that we're not looking. I have been a firm supporter of this program since its inception. Back when Batavia turned it down and we started it. I'm very happy that you were in the first cohort. I've heard the language skills from your group, and they're amazing. My own grandson was lucky enough to win the lottery to get into it for his first grade year. So we would certainly take your concerns to heart. Believe me, we don't ignore them. We know there are issues that need to be addressed. And we hope that this ability to choose the elective that you wish, at least is one small step in this process. And please don't feel like you have to rush to make a decision immediately on which you want to choose. So thank you for bringing these things to our attention. And hopefully, when we get into a year that's a little more standard procedure, we'll be able to offer better instruction with more consistency across the board. We all know that it wasn't easy. Our teachers had incredible loads trying to teach different modalities throughout this year, which I'm sure impacted different students. But it's across the board. It isn't just in the bilingual program, in the dual language program. So again, thank you for your input. We appreciate it.
Okay, and then we have some celebrations.
We do have some celebrations. We have 4 retirees, and I don't want to hear any Miami Vice summer suit comments like my fellow board members are giving me grief on.
I think it's off.
So we have 4 retirees, or actually 5 retirees. One of them, Susan Ortega, is not with us this evening. Susan is a paraprofessional in Yorkville since 2016. She was with the co-op prior to being hired in Yorkville schools. So we wish her well, and we'll be in contact with a district gift as she leaves us at the end of this school year. But the other 4 are in attendance tonight, and out of the 5, the total 5, there's 84 years of wisdom, service and contribution to District 115. So we're very fortunate to have such a dedicated group, a loyal group of educators to our schools. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to call your name, and I'm going to have you come up. The first 2 I'll call, you have the outside rocking chairs, because that's what you selected. There's no other reason for the rocking chairs. So the first one I'm going to invite up is Kara Kensel. "27 years in Yorkville, started in 93, 94. She's taught 2nd grade at Bristol Grade. She took a year off, taught kindergarten and part-time at BGS for 3 years, Circle Center for 5 at 2nd grade, Reading Recovery at Grand Reserve for 4, Reading Recovery at YGS part-time for 2, and currently is in 2nd grade for 6 years. It's interesting, Kara's finishing 2nd grade. My daughter, Bailey, is starting as a 2nd grade teacher, and Miss Kensel was her teacher years and years ago at Circle Center. So things, many years ago. But if you didn't know about Kara too, she'll be very happy as she retires. That She likes nothing more than a really good set of pajamas. And anytime she can wear pajamas in school is like she won the lottery. But
And of
you'll,
course, Dr. Sim shows up every single time I wear those pajamas. Every
that's
single
because I have insiders that text me and say, Karen, but more than anything, certainly a contagious laugh, a heartfelt smile, someone that has truly given all of her years of service to the kids that she serves and the colleagues that she interacts with. So sad to see you go, Kara, but I know the best is yet to come in your retirement. Next is Ann Hageman. Yes, you're on the rocking chair. Ann started in Yorkville in 2000, so 21 years. LBS 1 teacher for 4 years at the middle school. In the last 17, she's been at Yorkville Intermediate School. I think that's what it is, right?
Yes.
So since its inception, and since Mr. Bjork was the principal, I've had the pleasure to know Ann both as a parent when I came in as the high school principal years ago, but certainly also as a colleague and a staff member. Had certainly heard some of her, at least one of their children, Hannah, who I just learned is 31, so I'm being awfully old these days. But if you've had any time to spend with Ann, you know that she is one of the most student-centered educators that you'll ever come across. She works at times with some of the most challenging kids. She makes connections with some of the most challenging kids. She works tirelessly and has the biggest heart for kids. She's warm, she's kind, she's caring, and you'll be greatly missed.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. The next one is Troy Courtney, currently our director of education. Troy's been in our district 8 years. So as long as I've been superintendent, I've known Troy probably 15 or so from when we worked together in Hinsdale. We served on a committee or two together. Then Troy joined us 8 short years ago. I consider Troy a friend. He's been loyal to the end to District 115. Been certainly in some hard situations. But if you've had the chance, again, to spend some time with Troy, he's funny, he's witty, he's got a keen sense of humor and is a jokester. He'll be the first to give a shot, but also is willing to take some shots. But we've also been very blessed as we looked at the relationships that we've gone through with our union, with our staff. We've had many good years of that, and a lot of it is contributed to the work that Troy does behind the scenes, the one-on-one conversations. One thing also about Troy is he deals with a lot of, obviously, personnel in difficult situations. And Troy does it with a great deal of respect, humility, comes at his position with our staff members as almost like a father figure. And although they're in a really hard situation at times, Troy makes sure that they leave with enough information to feel comfortable and feel like they've been heard and taken care of. And that's something that you can't teach, and it's something that will be really missed as you move into retirement. So thank you for your years of service. And finally, but not certainly the least, is Debbie Cool. Debbie is currently the administrative assistant to Troy, so I'm a little bit concerned about what they're running from and what they're hiding. The shredder is going like crazy these days. But she's been in this role for 15 years, and prior to that, she was the administrative assistant for the principal of the middle school for 8 years, so 23 years working in District 115. You know, one of my early experiences when I was started at the district office, we used to sit around the lounge table And for birthdays, there would always be cards that were passed around. And I'm not sure if it was Debbie that was giving out the inappropriate dirty cards, or if she just found the great humor in them because she had the loudest laugh and always seemed to know what was being passed around. And I think that's been true since we've known Debbie. She has a wonderful sense of humor. She likes to have fun. She works really hard. Many times we'll see each other on the weekends, working at the district office. She's in early. She stays until the work is done. But like Troy in the HR department, she treats people with a tremendous amount of respect and kindness and welcoming to the district. That's so important as we brand who we are and what we stand for. She's really good about keeping the Dove chocolate filled right outside her office. We're going to miss that dearly as well. But I think if you look at all of our guests up here and retirees, they enjoy time with friends and families. If you talk to any of them individually or collectively, they're always going to go back to their friends. They're going to always go back to their families. And I think we'll watch the video shortly here. You'll hear that as well. I think you're going to find that they're the four kindest human beings that you'll ever come across. And they would do anything for anybody, and they have done so much for everybody. They're quick with a laugh. They're really quick to smile or welcome you in for a conversation. And I think for us, the sense of service and commitment to our district is unparalleled. I think you're going to all be tremendously missed. You've made decisions and you've acted on behalf of kids, and I think any employee that we hire, that we keep here, and certainly that means our district, there's nothing more that we can ask for, that you've acted on behalf of kids. And you've demonstrated that in a tremendous role model for everyone to come at. So thank you for that. So at this time, we are going to show a short 8 to 10 minute video highlighting some of our retirees.
Hello, I am Kara Kensel. I have worked for 34 years teaching.
I'm Debbie Cool, and I've worked for Yorkville School District this is my 23rd year.
I have been working in District 115 for 21 years.
And then I came to Yorkville in 2013.
My first day here, I remember thinking I need to get out of this room because I was in the room next to the hot blacktop and the sun was beating in and everybody was outside screaming on the playground.
I just remember how everyone at the middle school was very warm and friendly. And I can remember Barb McCarty, who was the principal's secretary prior to me. She came over the first day and spent the entire day working with me and training me.
At Y115, I strolled into the old Yorkville Middle School, which used to be the old high school. And it was kind of strange because my husband went to school there. So I'm kind of thinking, what did he do in these hallways? What was it like back then? So I remember walking in, and I was in the hallway, and I was nervous. I was excited, but I was also nervous.
The district was very warm. The people were very, very nice. It was really kind of an exciting time because at that point in time, basically the top 4 administrators were all brand new to the district.
What I remember about District 115 was I came in and they had all hands-on science kits. So everything we did was hands-on, and I remember thinking, wow, this is the way to do it.
My proudest accomplishment, I think it would have to be the connections. The connections I made with my students, the connections I made with my team members, the connections I made with Mr. Bjork, obviously, for 19 years.
The proudest thing I brought to the district was automation in a lot of different areas, whether it was in the evaluation process or how we did staffing, how we did negotiations. It was fun to use my programming background in order to do that.
Probably my proudest and biggest accomplishment was when I was trained for reading recovery. There are very few teachers actually trained in reading recovery, and when I went to reading recovery, I found I could teach anybody to read. I taught a girl who only spoke Telugu to read in 18 weeks. It was great. So then when I was done with reading recovery and they brought me back to 2nd grade, I was able to use all of those strategies. It was amazing.
I think it would be starting the HR department with Frank Bogner. Things have changed over the years. New ideas, new programs, but I feel very fortunate that we were the founding of the HR department here.
Be calm in front of other people when they're obviously going through stress. You can help to de-escalate the situation and help those people out. So it's mostly just to slow down and calm down.
What I've learned, I think, is to have patience, is to listen.
I think one thing that I have observed is that there are a lot of times when people come in and they immediately have their paperwork or they get it right away. And I think they are the ones that seem to succeed.
Mostly just to listen. When I was a young teacher, didn't listen as much, chop, 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 this was the way it is. And then you learn, they have lives outside of school and problems that go on. Just a little more understanding and just compassion, I guess. But I suppose just, I would have lots of fun with the kids. I'd probably pull out all the fraction games and all the just say no games and this, that, and the other, and just have a fun day with the kids.
I'd probably just as soon get together with half a dozen people that I feel fairly close to in the district and have a beer at the end of the day and drive away.
But on my last day, I just kind of want to be with the kids, you know, have my laughs, say my goodbyes, and just walk out the door and just have some great memories.
I'm just going to have fun with everybody. Just have a good time, and then when 3:30 hits, I just want to be out the door, go home, start the new chapter of my life. I am going to travel. I am going to spend more time with my family. I have a daughter in Virginia that I don't get, and 2 grandkids, and son-in-law. I don't get to see them very often.
I'm just going to do yoga, work out, garden, just things around the house. Pretty much nothing. I'm going to do nothing.
My daughter Hannah, who also went to school here, she is a new mom. She had a little baby in November. I plan on going to visit them as much as I can.
Well, I love the Rocky Mountain region, whether it's Utah, Colorado, Montana, Wyoming. I love that whole area. So I want to get out there more, do a lot of hiking. I plan on getting a motorcycle while I'm out there so I can ride some of the trails and some of the peaks. But I'm also an avid woodworker. I build furniture, and I'm really looking forward to building more custom furniture.
I have many projects that I want to do at home. We're in the process of selling our home, so within the next couple years we're going to be doing that. So I'm looking forward to moving and decorating the new home. I love to read. I'm going to spend my time reading many books. And finally, I want to give back to the community. I want to volunteer.
Maybe do some more cruises, do some more knitting. I've got a lot of little projects that I want to do.
I can't decide if I'm going to be happy or sad. Probably a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both.
It's okay to let it go. It's time. There's other things in store for me ahead, and I'm looking forward to those days.
Well, it's really hard for me to actually imagine my last day because even though I've taught 34 years, it feels like my 10th year. I still can't believe it's 34, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, it's been 34 years.
I still have half a dozen not so kids anymore, now have families and what have you, still reach out to me, communicate to me through Instagram or Facebook, and every once in a while if they come in town I get a phone call. And I think that's really what it's about.
This year I've been e-learning. What I'm going to do and what's going to leave me with a great feeling, I think, is I'm going to do a series of home visits. So 1 or 2 days where I actually, for the most part, some of these kids see them for the first time this year in person.
Trying to get things a little more organized for the next person to come. I realized that I was kind of cluttering and there was a lot of things that I didn't need to be keeping anymore. So, you know, that's gone. So, you know, they can start their own clutter now.
I just want people to think of me as being fair, being helpful. And as you know, and a lot of people around here know, I'm a bit of a prankster. I like to have fun. I think it's important to have fun in the workplace. Even though for a lot of people I come off as a stuffed shirt, you know, so. Anyway, that's what I want to be remembered by.
I hope that they can remember that I worked hard at working with my students and working along with the teachers. I hope that they can look back and say, wow, I remember some of the great times that I had with her in the classroom and how she impacted maybe a student here or there. I hope that they can look back on my legacy and smile.
I help people solve problems, and I look and look and look. I'll lay awake at night texting them, hey, I thought of a solution. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, why are you texting me? So that's my legacy, I think. Be a problem solver, help people.
I like having fun, and I don't like everything being serious all the time. So I think that's more than anything, is just, I want them to miss me because I was fun.
Sometimes I would go past schools and think, there's so many teachers out there that want a job. I got picked. I get to do it. Almost makes me want to cry because how awesome that I got chosen to do that.
Teaching's been my life. The kids at Struck, I relate so well to that because of my son. I'm gonna miss it.
Teaching is probably the only profession that you can really leave a legacy, because when you leave your imprint on our children, positive imprint, it's everlasting.
And I'm thankful and grateful for the life that I've been given. It's been a wonderful ride.
Oh, thanks. Did you get from the back?
This is way better than staying back 40 feet. Great, thank you.
Oh, you do? Okay.
For you tonight. 40. All right. It's the best friend chicken. It's still best friend chicken. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna take about a 2 or 3 minute break here. So if anyone wants to say farewell to the retirees, and there are some cookies and cupcakes up here. So we'll reconvene in 2, 3, 4 minutes.
All right, so we're gonna go to committee reports, and we did have a committee of the whole, but I think we have an update from student success.
Yeah, I just wanted to provide the board with a very brief update with regards to student success. And since our last meeting, I wanted the board to be aware that we are actively and have been actively at multiple committees working on plans to ensure that the 21-22 scheduling implementation goes across effectively. We have groups that are working on engagement in a 90-minute period, lesson designs, Canvas expectations, common standards of practice, and also a larger scale professional development plan. And we have at the high school in particular 5 committees that are working with over 70 staff members. And the real powerful thing with this is that these are very much teacher-driven committees and a lot of buy-in. So Mr. Travis and your staff, thank you very much for all that hard work that continues and will continue into the summer. And yes, I did just say your name while you're getting ready to take a bite of your cookie. Also, looking ahead to student success, in June, our summer school administrative team has developed a summer school evaluation plan to ensure that our summer school programming this year in particular is effective. We have our YMS and YHS administration that will be discussing their engagement metrics that they've been using over the course of the year. That's coming up also in June. Our dual language and English learner achievement report, Mr. Camp has been working on that for the last few weeks. That data is showing us that our achievement is coming in better than expected or as expected. So that's good things to report there. And also we'll bring some other business items to student success. So a big meeting coming up here in June.
Thank you, Dr. Buckman. I know you've been spending a lot of time trying to get this all together for the next meeting. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Next, we have the consent agenda, and we need the entire motion read, please.
Onto it. Approve the minutes of the April 26th, 2021 Board of Education meeting, April 26th, 2021 executive session, May 7th, 2021 committee meeting, May 10th, 2021 committee meeting, May 10th, 2021 committee meeting, May 10th, 2021 executive session meeting, the activities and fund report for April 2021, the final bills and claims for April 2021 in the amount of $90,903.75, and the bills and claims for May 2021 in the amount of $1,511,423.67. FOIA request received on May 7th, 2021 and responded to on May 13th, 2021 from Jen Weeks at Smart Local 265, requesting any contracts of any new construction, renovations and or maintenance for any buildings leased or owned by the district. HVAC metals used for waterproofing, gutters, lockers, toilet partitions, and kitchen renovations, and destroy the June 2019 executive session recording.
Let's do a roll call.
Roll call.
Dr. Bennett,
Yes.
Dr. Petula, Mr. Kozowitz,
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes. Can you hear me?
Now.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. All right, and then on to treasurer reports.
Okay. Okay. Good news to report, still running favorable in April, both on the revenue and the expense side. From a revenue standpoint, I was just talking with Dr. Brenner, the state continues to only owe us $35,000 for this entire school year, which is the most current that we've been, probably in the time that I've been here. And as a reminder, we did get 4 categorical payments this year versus the 3 that we had budgeted. The other area of interest on the revenue side is transition fees continue to run strong. We had $69,000 in transition fees in the month of April for a total of $732,000 on a full year basis. Everything else is pretty much as expected. And on the expense side, we're continuing to run favorable. We're favorable on salaries due to vacancies, some late starts with some of the COVID positions. And then we are favorable on benefits, which continues to, we're building the required, kind of balance for future payments. And then the other biggest favorability on the purchase service side is related to transportation. So we didn't have, especially at the beginning of the year, in the area of special education transportation, a lot of those schools were closed, and we didn't have an ability to transport those students. So we do expect to see about $2 million in favorability in transportation costs this year. I did talk to Dr. Brenner, so we will see kind of an offset to that next year when we get reimbursed. When we get reimbursed, we'll be reimbursed less, obviously, next year because we spent less this year. So that's just an FYI that, that there will be an impact on our FY22 budget as it relates to spending less in transportation this year. Other than that, I don't know if anybody has any specific questions.
No? The money just keeps falling for heaven. Just amazed.
A motion to approve the treasury report as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And then we go on to a series of personnel recommendations, and we have internal substitute nurse.
Yeah, this is one we spoke about at the last meeting. I'm just looking for.
We need a motion.
Motion to approve the internal substitute nurse position for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments? Roll call, please.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Petula, Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. Then we have the Yorkville Middle School Athletic Director.
Motion to approve the addition of a stipend position for managing athletics and activities at Yorkville Middle School as presented. Second.
Moved in second, additional comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Petula, Mr. Kozowitz,
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. And then we have quite a few tenure appointments.
We do, and one thing to note, I wish I had noted on here, we have about 3 or 4 of the individuals who received tenure in 3 years because they've received excellence in all 3 years.
Motion to accept the tenure report placed on file. Second.
Moved in second, additional comments? Let's roll call this.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Petula, Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes, congratulations. We have some co-curricular resignations.
Motion to approve the co-curricular resignations as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And then we have some co-curricular.
Motion to approve the co-curricular hires as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Petula, Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. Then we have some resignations.
Motion to approve the resignations as presented. Second.
Moved in second, additional comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have some summer school hires.
Very good. Lots of summer school hires, and we expect more at the future meeting.
Motion to approve the administrative summer school hires as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments? Roll call, please.
So just before we do that though, are we seeing an increase in students enrollment in summer school? Is that continuing to increase?
Yeah, we certainly are. I don't have the exact numbers ahead of me, but the last time we reported, we are well exceeding what we had projected in some of the programs. I can bring it back.
That'd be fine. Thank you.
Roll call.
Mr. Kozowitz,
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Petula, Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. And then we have hires. We need a motion, please.
Motion to approve the hires as presented. Second.
Moved in second, additional discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. And then on to old business, and we have kindergarten through grade 8 mathematics resource renewal.
This is just an item that we had discussed and we're seeking a motion to approve that resource purchase.
Motion to approve the K mathematics resource as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments. I think we need a roll call because we'll
Yeah.
expect there's additional expenses incurred. So roll call, please.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. And then we have the athletic trainer services agreement approval.
So motion to approve the 3-year athletic trainer services agreement with ATI Holdings Company. Limited.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments.
Yeah, I think we should make a point that, we got some very, very good information at our last meeting. And this is one of those that fortunately the contract is very flexible. And we'll be able to monitor it carefully and make sure that everything is being fulfilled as needed.
And I don't know if Luke is virtual or not, but I think as I speak for the board, I think we're looking for him to monitor this closely to make sure we have enough resources, make sure we have enough coverage. And to Dr. Brenner's point, we can terminate the contract at any point in time. So we need to pivot and move things in-house and things like that. We have the flexibility to do that.
Yeah, their business model makes me a little bit nervous, to be quite honest with you, so I.
Yeah, I think we're all a little unsettled
I
on
would agree.
this.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Dr. Schumacher.
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. Then we have the food service contract. So we need a motion.
Motion to approve a 1-year extension of the existing agreement for food service with Aramark in accordance with the Child Nutrition Response number 71 extension waiver filed with ISBE on February 11th, 2021, including a revised total annual increase of 3%.
Second.
Moved in second, any additional comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher.
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. Then we have the 3-year technology plan.
Motion to approve the 3-year technology plan as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, any additional comments? I know we talked quite a bit at last meeting.
Right.
Let's do a roll call.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. Then we have some Chromebooks.
Motion to approve the purchase of 402 Dell 2100 Chromebooks in the amount of $107,082.95 from CDWG using funds from the Digital Divide Grant.
Second.
Moved in second, any additional comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher.
Yes.
Dr. Brenner.
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks. Yes. Then we have a renewal of content filtering and firewall protection. So need a
Motion to approve the purchase of a new Palo Alto firewall and a 3-year support agreement in the amount of $58,680.49 from CDWG using funds from the Digital Divide Grant.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ryan for bringing in outside auditing to make sure that our members are held to the fire. It's a really important part of making sure that we have the best protection we can get. So we do appreciate that.
Yeah, the other day, we just signed a scope of work to allow us to, if in the event a breach were to ever occur, that we can have an outside contractor on site within 2 hours to help us remedy the situation. So that there's no cost to that, it's just cost as if that were to ever just be placed, it's just kind of a retainer to hold that service.
Right.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. Then we have the purchase of a wireless controller.
Motion to approve the purchase of a Cisco wireless controller from CDWG in the amount of $69,091.94.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments, roll call, please.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Dr. Schumacher.
Yes.
Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. And then we're on to new business. And we have the seal coating, oh my goodness, sorry. Seal coating and stripping bid, sorry.
Motion to award a 1-year seal coating and striping contract with Denter Incorporated for the seal coating and striping of all Yorkville School District 115 parking lots during the 2021-2022 school year.
Second.
Moved in second, additional comments, roll call, please.
Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher,
Yes.
Dr. Brenner,
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Sefner,
Yes.
Ms. Shields,
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes. Then on to new business. And the ESL bilingual endorsement cohort program at District 1.
So let's get this one on the table. Good idea to talk a little bit about why we're doing this.
Certainly.
Motion to approve the English learner endorsement memorandum of understanding as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, comments?
Yeah, so the district's emergent bilinguals has continued to increase 70% since 2017. In 2017, we had 211 emergent bilingual, or commonly referred to as English language learners, students in our district. Now we have 373. What is important for us to understand is that 70% of those emergent bilingual students are served in a general education setting or in a special education classroom. We get a lot of attention to the dual language program, but really the majority of our students that are emergent bilinguals are served outside of that dual language program itself. And so as a district, in order for us to adequately address the achievement gap and also try to positively influence retention of teachers, we are proposing that to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Yorkville Education Association to pay for the endorsement, which is referred to as an ESL endorsement, which is it basically takes 5 courses totaling 18 semester hours per staff member in order to get that endorsement. So what we're proposing is that we enter into a memorandum of understanding and that the district over the course of multiple years pays for that program, that educational program. The way that the memorandum of understanding is structured is that the teachers would sign up for the program, they would pay for it themselves to start with, and then as they continue their service in District 115, we would reimburse them the tuition for those programs over the course of 2 years. Mr. Camp is here tonight, has been working on this item and structuring the program with the University of St. Francis after reviewing proposals from 6 total universities themselves. And we found that University of St. Francis is very flexible with this, and they'd be willing to begin a cohort, if approved, in August of 2021, providing us with up to 20 more staff members that would be able to serve our emergent bilinguals and also help us as a district reduce that achievement gap that we see. And thus the need for approval and signing off on this MOU by the YEA will allow us to start marketing to teachers prior to the end of the school year. Mr. Camp, anything to add?
Thank you, board, for entertaining this agenda item. I think that this is going to be very impactful potentially for our students. The only thing that I would add to that is we know that collective teacher efficacy has the largest effect size on student achievement. We're talking about a group that just nationwide has been historically underperforming, that we need to get attention, we need to give our special attention to. And I think equipping general education teachers with the knowledge and tools to be able to help meet these students' needs in their classroom setting currently is going to be ultimately the best for their achievement, their social emotional well-being as well. So I hope that you'll be able to consider this, and I'm here also to answer any questions that you all might have at this time.
Well, I think it's just, this just shows again cooperation between the YEA and the administration in coming up with solutions that we need, and we know we need to address those gaps. So we appreciate all the effort that's given from all sides.
And then Mr. Camp, just remind me, with the district paying for it, does the staff member have to stay X amount of years?
Yes,
That's
so,
okay.
yes, as part of the memorandum of understanding that the staff member, whoever participates in the cohort would pay during that year of coursework, the University of St. Francis directly. And then we would reimburse half of the remaining balance of tuition after their first year of service, once the coursework has been completed. And then the remaining half the second year after it's been completed. So it's 1 year to complete the course, and then additional 2 years
years
afterwards
after.
to be fully reimbursed.
Which is some typical.
Yes,
3
yes.
to 5 years.
Just about.
So we have a motion. We have
On the
a second.
table, a second.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Brenner?
Yes.
Mr. Kozowitz?
Yes.
Dr. Petula? Dr. Schumacher?
Yes.
Mr. Sefner?
Yes.
Ms. Shields?
Yes.
Dr. Burks?
Yes. Then we have administrative staff compensation for 21-22.
Yeah, this is the time of year we're bringing administrative contracts to the board for their annual renewal. What I'm asking for is a total amount of the $86,423, providing me the opportunity based upon salary adjustments, based upon performance evaluations, and percentage increases. Although the contracts this board meeting are for the building level administrators, the districts will come in next month, the district level, but that dollar amount is for all of them.
This just allows you to
Correct.
finish it.
Correct.
Motion to approve the application of administrative compensation for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kozowitz?
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher?
Yes.
Dr. Brenner?
Yes.
Dr. Petula? Mr. Sefner?
Yes.
Ms. Shields?
Yes.
Dr. Burks?
Yes. And then we have the non-YEA, non-certified staff compensation for 21-22.
Motion to approve the base percentage increase as presented.
Second.
Moved in second, additional discussion. Roll call, please.
Dr. Brenner?
Yes.
Mr. Kozowitz?
Yes.
Dr. Petula? Dr. Schumacher?
Yes.
Mr. Sefner?
Yes.
Ms. Shields?
Yes.
Dr. Burks?
Yes. All right, and then we have superintendent board communication.
Just a few things for the board to be aware of. The Circle Center had their virtual art show, and then also had a virtual family reading night. And I know, like many schools, they're getting excited about the 10-day countdown, much lower than 10 now. Last few were single digits. BGS did a run-a-thon. You can see there, they raised $3,500 for their PTO. Some author visits that you can read, and then the Potato Olympics, and there's a link there if you want to read a little bit more up on the Potato Olympics, right up some of our alleys there. In Bristol Bay, did a garden for their families. There's a picture of that showing the way how they have blossomed for the school year. They're also doing a slide in the summer Zoom event, so they can watch the kids go down the slide with their kindergarten certificate. A lot of our schools doing activities this week in field days. So it's an exciting time for all, a little bit sense of normalcy. You'll see the attachment, the ROD inspection, kudos to Heather and her team and all of our buildings for their inspections went well, and certainly are in good shape and being maintained at the highest of levels. I also attached a YHS sign that we are planning for to replace the one that's non-functional in the front of the high school. So it's just something that we budgeted for, and I think it looks very nice. They'll be illuminated. I think the days of scrolling signs are kind of gone. I think it's really not much value in those, given all the other communication outlets that we have. So we'll do that this summer. And then there's also a National Board Certificate Financial Incentive Program. So you'll see, about a dozen teachers there. And these are recipients of our rural and remote incentive. So not all of our teachers who are nationally board certified were eligible to receive this. As you see, they're considering Yorkville Middle School as our rural school. So those teachers who teach there were able to get reimbursed $3,000 as national board certified teachers. And then we are looking into the Illinois Assessment of Readiness, the IER, our third and eighth graders took. Originally, there was a 95% participation rate. As I looked at the waiver from the federal government, the state of Illinois, I don't believe that's going to be a factor. You see the percentages, and kudos to our staff and our administrators of those buildings. They really did a tremendous job of getting families to participate. And think about all the ones that were e-learning, off-site. We held, some of our schools held evenings and weekends to have kids come in and test. So you see the percentages there, but again, I don't think the 95% threshold is going to be a factor, but we'll get confirmation to all of you by the next meeting. And just the end of the year, you are welcome to, on Friday of this week, we're going to be doing we're going to have all our 15, 20, 25 year retirees in the auditorium at 8 o'clock. We're going to do a breakfast from 7:15 to 8. And all the schools are going to be having a watch party back at their schools. And we're going to be recognizing, I'm going to do a little bit of a farewell send off and a thank you. But if I'll send an invite just in case you're in the area, you want to stop by and say hello. If not, no worries. We could probably also send a link to stream it, or to watch it from town plans of your home or at work. But looking forward to starting summer school and giving the staff and our administrators a much deserved break.
I think I speak for the whole board too. Lovely ceremony at Northern, the high school staff and support staff. It was absolutely spectacular. Beautiful night, beautiful setting. I'm not sure we'll be able to move indoors. That was so lovely. So I know the high school support staff did an incredible amount of work to get that.
It really was, and
Absolutely lovely.
the high school for senior week, the amount of events and activities that week you guys were able to pull off, and just at the high level, and you did it with class, you did it to do everything you could to give kids some sense of end of the year, and every event was just top notch. And you guys worked tirelessly, a lot of hours that last week, from the administration to guidance to support personnel, our custodians, our maintenance team, Heather and your team, of just Ryan, your tech group. It was awesome. So great work. I do think, I talked to our cabinet this morning about, we need to come September, be thinking about an outside graduation next year, whether it's somewhere else around campus. But high school's gonna kind of give some thought to that sooner rather than later and find out what they want to do next year. But and kudos, thanks to all the board members. Great attendance by the board.
Hey, I just want to go on this, again, assuming I'm speaking for the board here. Obviously, we're wrapping up the school year in terms of the days of the children being in session. And, I know we thank people, but I think at this time, we're really, now that we're wrapping up, the school buses are going to be stopping. People aren't going to be in the building as much. I really think everybody, I know I've talked to teachers, administrators. I know we were at school all year and we were able to pull that off. I know there were a lot of positive things, but I also know it was a very trying year for people too. Just with, rules constantly changing, and nothing that was the district's fault, just state changing. And, someone who was looking at it from a different district who was teaching in one modality, I was pretty jealous myself. And, but I do realize that it was not an easy year for you. So as much as we are happy that it, there's definitely that sense of compassion from us that, it was definitely a rough year for you. And, I just want you to know that we're all appreciative of it. And, if we didn't think it, we wouldn't be saying it. So from the bottom of our hearts, just want to thank you for all that. So much appreciated. And I think the kids are way better off for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well said, Jason. All right, and we have an executive session. So we need the full motion read, please.
To move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel of the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. 5 ILCS 120/2C1. The purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for the purpose of discussion, whether a particular parcel should be acquired. 5 ILCS 120/2C5. Student disciplinary cases. 5 ILCS 120/2C9. Litigation when in action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular public body has been filed and is pending in a court or administrative tribunal, or when the public body finds that such an action is probable or imminent, in which case the basis for the finding shall be recorded and entered into the minutes of the closed meeting. 5 ILCS 120/2C9. In collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives. 5 ILCS 120/2C2.
Second. Moved and seconded. Additional comments? Roll call.
Dr. Brenner.
Yes.
Dr. Katsula, Mr. Kozowitz.
Yes.
Dr. Schumacher.
Yes.
Mr. Sefner.
Yes.
Ms. Shields.
Yes.
Dr. Burks.
Yes, there's no action afterwards. And then one last comment, we believe by the next committee meeting, which is the next meeting, we will be going back to our normal simultaneous committee meetings as the CDC has relaxed guidelines, and I think almost everyone on the board is also vaccinated. So the next committee meeting will go back to our normal committee structure.
We'll be having it.
Innovation Center. Yeah, so we're back to our normal schedule.
The only thing for the board's consideration with that, my understanding is we're still at 60% capacity. So when we think about the capacity of the Innovation Center.
Well, it depends on how much.
Good point.
Yeah, it's June 14th, so the governor, we're supposed to move the full phase. June 11th.
Okay, so that'll be our plan.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can change. Yep.
It should jump June 11th.
So we'll take a 5-minute break. We'll be
Something silly, huh?
Smells like it.
Never mind. Are you good? Nice outside. Probably gonna go on a walk again tonight. Huh? So probably going on a walk again tonight. Okay. Are you gonna leave this room?
I'm waiting for them to call her back.
How was that?
Did you say, sweetie?
What's the why?
We're going to executive session, but nobody's calling me yet. If I can put my headphones on, I can put attention on and go with you. Let me go. I can go on a walk with you. I mean, nobody's calling me yet.
Unless you want to walk at the Schwab.
Go ahead, you can go wherever you want. I'm just saying. Kind of hungry.
back in regular session now.
Yes, so we have to open.
Yes.
Oh,
Need a roll call open,
roll call to open.
new motion.
You just did.
Oh, good, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
It's cordial.
Bob, you seconded?
Yes, sure.
That's great. Of course, Lynn,
Here.
Bob,
Yes.
Sean? Yes. Jason?
Yes.
Ashley? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so now we're going to close the meeting.
Now we gotta close the meeting.
Move to close.
Yes.
Second.
One second. Roll call.
Roll call. Bob,
Yes, we could do this.
Sean?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Ashley?
All right, meeting's closed.
8:43, meeting is closed.
Very nice.
Thank you,
Ashley.
Thanks.
Good
seeing
you guys.
Thank you.